What's up, builders? Today I'll be showing you how to coordinate a dive. Let's get into it. So, as you can see, me and Hazard here are both clearly very much engaged on the Cassidy. He is applying pressure, so am I, and we are forcing him to back up. It's very clear that he is going for the health pack here. We both dive in. Easy peasy What? And that, my friends, is Eve's Crow. I'm gonna call him Crow for short. Crow is not only the rank 1 NA cast player, but also the rank 1 NA stadium player, and I have accidentally managed to get into a high-level custom game with him. And it went exactly how you'd think it did. For some context, following on from my tier list video, a lot of you wanted to see me cover the tournament I kept talking about. Unfortunately, there isn't one running right now. But I couldn't just leave it there, so I reached out to some high-level players and we set up this lobby. Every single player in here is at least top 500 or masters. Originally, I was only meant to spectate, since this is an NA server and I'm an EU player. But one of the players dropped out last minute, so I had to step in. Now going into this, I wasn't fully familiar with everyone, and I had no idea what people were playing. So yeah, I accidentally drafted Genji into a rank 1 Cassidy with a Mercy, a top 100 Brig, and a full team of top 500 players, all while sitting on 150 ping. So yeah, not exactly ideal. But that's enough context, let's get into the game. Going into this round, I was already falling behind on cash, and after being told after round 2 that this Cassidy was the number 1 player in NA, I'd pretty much accepted that I wasn't going to beat him in a fair fight. So instead, I shifted my focus entirely onto optimizing my cash generation. To do that, I picked up Forged Under Fire alongside Slicey Coolant. The main reason being that Slicey Coolant, combined with the Deflect extension, can really throw off good players. It messes with their internal timing, and you can actually catch people off guard with it. I did manage to deflect a flashbang back at the Cassidy once this round, so I'd say it definitely paid off. Now looking at Crow, he's running Vanadium and Talon with the heal roll and flashbang cooldown. I'm not sure if this was fully intentional, but this setup is incredibly strong into dive. There's a lot of survivability, and more importantly, reduced cooldown on his stun. On top of that, he also has Aerial Distressor, which is actually pretty bad for me. I know he ended up taking it for the Freya, but Genji's double jump still puts you above the height threshold, so it's something I constantly have to respect. This is where the round gets interesting. My team isn't really in a position to push, however, we do need to touch the point, so I dash past the enemy team and do my best to touch, and we manage to secure it. Even if we don't win this fight, we will definitely generate more cash from it, and I actually managed to get my ultimate, which I used to counter Brig's rally, which is beneficial for our team. I then somehow miss a swing on Crow, and just realize in this moment that I've engaged him in a 1v1, which is not a position I want to be in. I managed to climb away after getting some damage in and re-engage when he's in a worse position. He has to back off, and Freya helps me secure the kill. Honestly, that was scary, and that could have easily gone the wrong way. However, Hazard's ultimate comes in and we use that to secure the fight. I steal a bit off the soldier, and last but not least, we clean up the Orisa on the point to secure the win. Now, any Genji main will know this. However, after managing to secure a few kills, you become significantly more confident, and this actually improves your gameplay. I think this is pretty clearly shown at the start of this round. As you can see, the soldier is coming from the left. I spot it, instantly get a lot of damage with Deflect, and then engage to secure the kill. I almost get the Cassidy as well, but I have to back out. Seriously, if you're in this guy's line of sight for even a second and you have no mitigation, you're already dead. I'm actually quite impressed with the cleanup after this. I thought it was really clean. At this point, the team I was playing with started being really nice to me as well, since they knew I was nervous coming in as a fill. I think this is where I really started to settle into the game. As for the builds, I won't bore you with all of the fine details, but we're both running very similar styles. I'd consider them both offensive hybrid builds. Mine is scaled around Deflect, whereas his is scaled around his primary fire and Flashbang. Honestly, I think Cassidy's rework did do a lot for him. However, his builds still feel really one-dimensional to me. They almost always consist of the heal roll, cooldown reduction on headshot, and then a combination of Buck Wild with maybe a few alternative powers. There's never really much variation. I feel like with Genji, on any given round, I could take 3 or more different powers and still have a viable build with a lot of synergy, whereas Cassidy just feels very flat to me. But I imagine you all have your own opinions on that, so let me know down in the comments. Now, we had a lot of ults up here, so we were looking to make a play. Honestly, I'll take a 2K blade. That was really nice to hit. However, somehow Crow manages to avoid me yet again. I just can't seem to hit this guy. And then comes the lesson on how to coordinate a dive that you've already seen. So yeah, you know how this bit goes. So that actually ended up costing us the game, which was completely my fault, and I felt really bad for the team. Now, coming into this next round, I got hit with what's known as the Genji high. You have the perfect play set up in front of you, and you manage to mess it up. Then you desperately chase it even though it's no longer there, and it ends up getting you killed. It did honestly suck. However, my team is actually goated. I forgot to mention our Brig. I'm going to call him Luke for short. He's actually the #1 Brig player in NA, so we've got a bit of a clash of titans going on here, if you haven't already noticed from the cache at the top. I secure the kill on the Moira, get some decent deflect value, and then I have to play passive to dodge this high noon. We could have lost there, but luckily we didn't. When I re-engage, we manage to take out the Orisa. I then go to chase the Cass, but Brig sneaks a health pack to him, so I can't secure the kill. Moira ults, but it gets shut down. I try to kill the Cass again, but I just genuinely can't finish him for some reason. It's honestly a skill issue at this point. We eventually secure the kill, which means we get the first point, and it's starting to look like we're bringing it back. Opening the next point, I manage to quickly secure a kill on the soldier, which is great for us. I then pop my ultimate, trying to go for the Cass, and yet again he evades me. This time he does get taken out by my teammate. However, I genuinely cannot kill this guy with Dragon Blade to save my life. They do manage to get back, which isn't great for us, but it just means if we can secure this fight, we'll come out with more cash. Unfortunately, we completely fail at that. I learned my lesson from the earlier rounds. Do not engage when my team is dead, because you will get destroyed, so I try to back out here, which I do manage to do. Me and Hazard try to hold the high ground, however, Orisa is just too oppressive, so we're forced to back off. I then go in to try and get some value with my deflect, but I end up getting picked. Once again, this team was genuinely great to play with. They managed to secure the fight without me. I come back in to help with the final cleanup, and that's another round 1. Now onto what you know as the final round. However, for us, this was the deciding round between losing or taking it to a round 7 game. We go from neutral to very aggressive very quickly, and I notice the soldier is slightly isolated, so I push to secure that and we manage to get it. I then follow up by securing the Moira and go for the Cassidy, and my teammate finishes it off for me. From there, it's just cleanup on the Orisa, and we win the first fight. I was honestly really impressed with myself here for the playmaking, as I don't consider myself a great player. Then coming into the next fight, I notice the soldier on height, so I go up there and manage to secure the kill. However, Hazard tries to push further and ends up getting traded. At this point, the team calls for a reset, but I think I can secure the fight with Blade. Unfortunately, I mess up the second target after securing Cass, and I overcommit, which ends up getting me killed. Honestly, morale was low here, as I thought I'd just cost us the game. However, Brig wastes her rally, and that creates a massive opening for us. I've got a chance to redeem myself. We make sure to take out the Brig, then I manage to secure the Moira. And then it happens. I enter my second 1v1 with Crow of the game. And although they did step in to help at the end, I'll take that win. Honestly, after that, my morale was really high. I felt like I was on top of the world. I tried to help Brig get some value from her ultimate, but unfortunately I couldn't make it work. I then noticed my ultimate was almost ready, so I pushed up to go for it, and once again, Mr. Crow shuts it down. In hindsight, I'm pretty sure this is what lost us the game. Not securing those kills meant they were able to push back into us, and from that point on, we just couldn't build any real momentum again. Also, look at all of that ultimate charge I just generated. Honestly, this build is optimized for doing that, so I don't know why I am surprised, but it's still funny to see. We did have a solid attempt here though. I managed to secure the soldier, however, there's just so much slow. Moira has liquid nitrogen, Orisa is slowing me, and the flashbang is slowing me as well. I just can't move properly, and unfortunately, we can't seem to recover from it. But what would this game be without Crow shutting down my blade one more time? In the end, we lost 4-3. However, this was an amazing experience for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed getting an insight into what higher levels of play look like. I could have definitely gone more in depth on this game rather than just focusing on me and Crow. However, this video would have been very, very long. In future, if a full game analysis is something you'd be interested in, let me know. Till next time, builders.